Hey guys, so today's video is a little bit different. If you're new to my channel, I usually start out with a very happy-go-lucky intro, and my videos are pretty random right now, but they're more so about makeup and a couple random little vlogs here and there. But today's video is about something more serious, so if you're not into that and you were looking for something a little lighthearted and fun, this is not quite the video for you, so feel free to just check out something else. So I don't think I've talked about it before on my channel, but I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 3, so I've now had it for 26 years. When I was 15, I was able to get an insulin pump. So I've been on an Animas insulin pump for the last 11 years of my life, and this year Animas decided Animas was done through Johnson & Johnson. They kind of were the main distributors and all that kind of stuff, and that was kind of the umbrella brand that Animas was under, but I don't know all the details. I just know that essentially Animas was not as profitable for Johnson & Johnson as they had hoped, so they decided that they were no longer going to be distributing and manufacturing Animas pumps or Animas pump supplies anymore. So Medtronic, which has been has been around longer than Animas, kind of took over. So from what I recall, and I'll double check, I'll put information on the screen if I'm wrong, but from what I know, I'm pretty sure Medtronic is an American company, whereas Animas was Canadian. And when I first got my pump, there was another pump called Cosmo, and Cosmo went under as well. I don't know when, and the only reason I found out is when I went to my doctor's appointment, they had said, "Oh, you've heard about what's happened to Animas?" And I was like, "No." And they informed me that it's no longer running. It was going to be switching over to Medtronic. People on Animas pumps have until, I think it's 2019, the end of 2019, to switch to a Medtronic pump. And I was like, oh, well, what about Cosmo? And they're like, no, Cosmo went out a long time ago, which I wasn't aware of and I was surprised about. So that was really frustrating because when I started my pump, again, this was 11 years ago, Medtronic was kind of behind. There was a lot of issues with Medtronic pumps. And so I've had little issues here and there, but Animas was always super duper supportive. They got me my supplies within 2 days. I'm if you don't hear it, if you don't get it, call us, we'll track it, and never had an issue. My pump had a couple, I want to say I had to require new pumps once or twice, and I had a pump the next day. So I've never had issues. Their customer service was great. I always felt well cared for and an actual person, not just a consumer or another individual using their products. So I felt valued. So this has been my first time ordering from Medtronic. It was going through Animas. I don't know when it switched. I want to say it was the beginning of this month or the beginning of last month. They were nope, sorry, it's just Medtronic now. We're going to deal with you. It's going to be a smooth transition. No issues, whatever. So issue number one is I was dealing with Canada Post, because Canada Post is not far. Canada Posts are everywhere because it's a regular post office. So things like Purolator, I would say UPS and FedEx, you have to go to these special outlets, which aren't always in convenient locations. So they deal exclusively through FedEx. So there's one FedEx in Edmonton, way on the other side of town. It's in a really weird area, it's a very industrial area. There's nothing around there that would promote people wanting to go there, or oh, well, I need to go shopping or whatever, so it's on the way. No, it's not conveniently located at all. There's one in the entire city. It takes half an hour to get there for me, half an hour to get back, so it's an hour to get supplies, and I'm that's really inconvenient and just so different from what I had before. So when I had talked to them on the phone, I had said, do you only deal with FedEx, or can I go through Canada Post? And they're oh, well, you can go through Canada Post, but just know it takes a little bit longer. And I was that's fine. When I ordered it, I had about a week and a half's worth of supplies left. And like I said, when I was dealing with Animas, I guess they had special arrangements with Canada Post, whereas Medtronic has special arrangements with FedEx. So you know, I was like, okay, that's fine, like expecting it to take maybe a week. So a week had gone by and I didn't hear anything. So I call them and I'm like, when is it coming? Because I'm nearing the end of my supplies and like this isn't like negotiable. Like these are medical supplies to keep me alive. So I need them. Like this isn't like I'm ordering like, you know, some lipstick, some furniture that I can wait on. Like this is stuff that people require immediately. So they're like, oh, I don't know, let me call here, there, and everywhere. And they were like, you know what, we can just cancel the order and send it through FedEx. And I'm like, why? Like, why can't you just tell me how long it's gonna take? And they're like, there's no tracking, I don't know. And I'm like, this is really irresponsible and a stupid answer, to be perfectly honest. If you're sending medical supplies to people, again, who rely on these supplies for their life, you should know where it is and where it's going. Like, to just not have a tracking number is stupid for this kind of business that you're running. So like, we'll send it through FedEx, it'll get there like tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, but it's really far away. And so it's still gonna take me at least another like 2 days to get it, because I'm not gonna know if it came or not. I'm gonna have to come home, get the slip, and go back all the way out there, which is like a 2-hour drive by the time everything's said and done. From like where I was working and like coming home and going back and So they're like, oh, okay, well, there's this place like near you that accepts FedEx. Like, what if we send it there? I'm like, that would be great. And they're like, okay, if you're not home, it'll go here. I'll have them call you when they have it. It's in the record. It's fine. It's good. That's how it'll be. I'm like, okay, excellent. So I get home the next day, like check the mailbox. There is a slip from FedEx. We live in a condo, so they cannot, like, my boyfriend was home, but they can't access us. Like, our buzzer doesn't work, so whenever we get a package, we always have to go pick it up, which is why I was persistent on wanting it to go to Canada Post. But anyway, so I get the slip. On the back, it has the FedEx, regular FedEx location on it. So it's already late, like they're not open, like the 1-800 number. So I call the next morning to ask, where is this package and where is it going? And they're like, oh, no, I'm sorry, like it's at the FedEx location. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't get it. So, like, I was told it was gonna go here, so I'm just confused what happened. And they're like, oh, no, like, that's not in our records, so, we can have it sent there, but it can't be sent today, like, the truck's already left or whatever. And I'm like, it's 10:30, like, aren't there trucks, like, aren't there packages coming, whatever. So I was like, okay, fine, like, we can get it there for tomorrow. And I'm like, excellent, great. So this is now, again, like, what, 2 days after they had said that I was gonna get it from FedEx. So again, the next morning I get like an automated call from FedEx saying it's at the FedEx office. So again, I call FedEx and I'm like, I just want to confirm that today, because they had said it'll be by noon the next day, blah, blah. So the next day, it was Friday, I called FedEx and was like, I got this automated message. I just want to confirm that this package with my essentially lifeline is supposed to be going to this other location today by noon. And at this point, it was like, again, 10:30 the next day. So I'm like, I just want to confirm that this is where it's gonna be. And they're like, oh, no, I don't know who told you that, but it takes at least 48 hours. And I'm like, it's within the same city. Like, your people are delivering these packages. So I have a cat, and she's very upset about this as well, obviously. But they're like, I'm like, they deliver packages all day, all over the city. Like, why would it take 48 hours? Like, it's already been processed. It just has to be moved. Your people are already running around, so why is this so complicated? So like, no, it takes at least 48 hours. I don't know who told you that. There's nothing in your, like, record here saying that it's to be moved. I'm like, are you kidding? So FedEx dropped the ball off the hop. And they're like, no, and their customer service were rude. I was like, I don't mean to get frustrated at you, but you need to understand that the contents of these packages that this company has apparently entrusted you with has extremely important stuff in it that helps people live. So I at this point, I'm like out of supplies. I'm like, I cannot wait until, because they're like, we can get it there for Monday. And I'm like, Monday would technically be 24 hours, like business hours after Friday. So why, like, you're switching around what you're saying again. But they're like, we can get it there for Monday. And I'm like, I don't have until Monday. I don't, like, I need it today. And they're like, well, then your only option is to go to the station. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to let you know that I'm going to be calling the distributor because this has been very confusing and convoluted for no reason. And like I said, this is not like a vanity purchase. This is a lifeline. And I don't feel as though like FedEx cares about the contents that it's taking. These are valuable things to the people who you are dealing with. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Thank you for using FedEx. And I was like ready to reach through the phone and like wring their neck. I was so angry. So I drove all the way to FedEx, drove back. I had done like my set change for my pump that day. So like I would need another one by Monday at least. But like at that immediate moment, I was fine. So I didn't open the package right away. Today I was cleaning and I moved the box and was like, this box is way heavier than it typically is. So like I moved into the room and cut it open to see what it was. And when I had ordered supplies, I ordered 3 boxes of infusion sets, which is like the little, if you know anyone with diabetes or you are diabetic, you know what an infusion set is, but it's like the little thing that shoots into you to put like the device, I guess, into your body. And then there's the cartridges, which is where you put the insulin to load into the pump. So I ordered 3 of each because you need both to function with the pump or else it's useless. So I had ordered, they had confirmed, I've never had an issue again. So I opened the box and there's 6 boxes of infusion sets. And I'm like, I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 infusion sets left, but I was done out of cartridges. So I open the box and am floored. I look at the, what's it called? The like report, and there's like infusion set, like whatever measurement, gray 3. The next order thing is the same thing. And they had confirmed. I'm like, why would I order like 2 separate orders on one receipt of the same thing? Why wouldn't it just be 6 units of infusion sets? So I'm distraught at this point because I am out of something crucial. I had to literally dig through my garbage and find an old needle and like the reservoir pull, so that way I can reuse the one that I'm currently using, which you are not supposed to do, because as it like is pulled and refilled, it's wearing down the rubber around it, so it's not functioning properly. And if it's not functioning properly, you are either overdosing or underdosing. So I'm frantically calling all these places in town asking if they have any backup packages anywhere, and everyone's like, no, I'm sorry, no. So I call Medtronic and I'm like, I need to speak to someone, and I'm in a bit of an emergency, this is what's happening. And the first time I called, she's like, I'm sorry, what are you calling about? And I'm like, oh, hello. I'm like, I ordered supplies and like this, and she's like, oh, what supplies? Is this for diabetes? And I was like, yes. And then she's like, let me transfer you to the diabetes line. And I was like surprised because I didn't think that you could order supplies on weekends, because I know with Animus you couldn't either. And so she transfers me to them, and I'm on hold for 10 to 15 minutes just listening to music, saying, your call is important to us, please stay on the line. No, I hung up and called back, and again, like went straight to that instead. And then they were like, oh, please call back during business hours. And at this point, I'm like, I don't care who I talk to, but I want someone to know that what they did is, I'm sorry for the language, but fucked up. So I call and talk to someone, and again, I had said supplies. And so it connects me to some idiot, and they're like, okay, yes, at this point, I am crying on the phone to this woman saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need this. I had to dig through my garbage. I feel like I am so, like I don't matter to Medtronic. I don't feel like a person. I don't feel like me just as an individual is valued. I just feel like some kind of business to you. And she's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I completely understand, but you need to understand that I'm just a call center. So, we can't do anything about it. And I'm like, sobbing, and this woman's just like, and I'm like so irritated. I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. I was really angry before. I've had a few hours to calm down. Now my cat's like all up in my grill. Oh yeah, that's happening. So like, she was just another day in the life, and I get it. Like, it's unfortunate that this poor woman had to, you know, deal with my moment, but it's not even like she was trying to be like, I'm so sorry. She's just like, she's over her job essentially, and she's like, I can't do anything about it, good luck. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the earliest time tomorrow that they're open? Because like, I don't think you understand what you're dealing with here. Like, you know, it's like someone, like, I don't know, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's like someone with cancer going to the doctor for a checkup and getting a dose of chemo. But this is reverse. This is like me expecting, you know, my lifeline and getting double, which is useless, because great, I'm super glad that I can stab myself 40 times, but the insulin cannot get into my body. So what do you want me to do? Like, at this point, like, they explained it to me quickly at the hospital last time I went in for a checkup, but I know, like, here our only option is to go to Medtronic, because Cosmo's out now, Animus is out. And so Medtronic has a monopoly over everyone with a pump. And like I said, this is my first time, so I don't know if this is like a common thing for Medtronic, but it has been a garbage first interaction. And I don't feel comfortable now ordering through them because they don't know how to deliver things. Their records apparently show that whoever took the call doesn't understand what he's putting through the computer or what I had asked for. Because he had confirmed, like, okay, yes, 3 boxes of insulin cartridges and 3 boxes of infusion sets. Yet I get 3 boxes of infusion sets, 3 boxes of infusion sets. And like, completely useless to me. So I don't know at this point. Like, I'm not comfortable ordering through them again. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try to get it ordered through a pharmacy, but I know it was really challenging in Ontario to do that when I came here. Like, back in Ontario, I was getting it through Costco, and in Alberta, I guess, I don't know if it's Alberta, but Edmonton, they had said that they haven't dealt with pump supplies in 4 years. What are you doing? No, we're not doing that. So, and I know, like, a lot of places, like when I had lived in Ontario and kind of been moving around, I think it was like Toronto and even Ottawa, like, it was really, really challenging to find them in drugstores. Like, back home, they had, we were forever had been going through Shoppers Drug Mart, and they had it on there because we had requested it, but like everywhere else I went, like, didn't want to deal with that. So I don't know in Alberta if it's similar to Costco where they refuse and they're like, no, sorry, like, it just goes directly through them, or if it's possible, because just as an individual consumer who requires medical, you know, different medical options to survive, I don't feel comfortable going through this company who has treated me this insignificantly. So I'm gonna call, like, I have called 2 Shoppers, and they said, like, because it's Sunday, that I have to call back and talk to the manager. But I don't know, like, comment down below if you've had a similar experience with Medtronic. And that's the issue, is now they have a monopoly. So I think I go on tangents, but here it's only Medtronic. I don't know if they said in Ontario there might be some other new pump company that they were allowed to use, but in Alberta we were only going to be using Medtronic. So it's ridiculous, because now they know that it doesn't really matter if people want to stay on a pump, they have to go through them. So I don't know if they've suddenly just dropped the ball because they can, or if this was just like extremely rare and like people don't usually experience this. But FedEx was a nightmare. Even the FedEx itself, like, has very poor ratings in Edmonton, and there's one FedEx, so I can't deal with the cat hair. I don't know, I'm gonna ask them to at this point, ship Express Canada Post because it was their fault, not mine, that all this started. And then if I have to keep dealing with them, then I'm gonna be ordering like months in advance because like this has been ridiculous. So comment down below what your experience has been. I hope no one else has to go through this because this has been extremely stressful and should not have happened. Share this video to let companies like Medtronic, who are dealing with people who are more health fragile, that this is like not, this can't happen, this shouldn't happen. Like, we don't, at this point, we don't have any other choice. There's no other options, and that's not fair. And we should not be treated like garbage just because they can. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I hope that this helps someone. I hope that this isn't common. If it is common, I hope that by creating this video and sharing this video, we can let these companies know that it's not okay, and we know that it's not okay, and we are gonna do whatever we can to stop it. Because I'd like to stay on a pump, but honestly, if it's this ridiculous, it's almost easier to go back on syringes. And syringes are doing like 4 needles a day with different insulin, and it's a nightmare. But I cannot deal with this all the time and like have to go through my garbage to be able to give my meds because I don't have the proper supplies, because the people who are dealing with my supplies are incompetent. So that's it. I'm not gonna edit this video. I'm just gonna post it, so I'm sorry if it's like super scattered and like random, which it kind of was, but I hope the point gets across, and I hope that this can, you know, help people. So thank you for watching. If you got to the end of this, thank you in advance for sharing. Yeah. Medtronic, if you're watching this, I'm not a fan. I'm disgusted by your lack of professionalism and the way that you treated me, and I hope you don't treat anyone else like this because nobody deserves to be treated like this. Thank you.